Gallons to Liters assessment is designed to give us a little more experience creating an interface using the IB Storyboard, and then to also do some math. And we're going to write a function that will take a value, do some math, and return another value. Our app is going to be where the user enters a number of gallons, clicks a button to convert to liters, and then displayed is the equivalent number of liters. The yellow text box is a text field. This is a button. Everything else is labels, including our output here in the blue area. So I give you some starting code for the action for that button. We're going to have a constant called gallons. We're going to take the text property of gallons text field and put that in the value of gallons. Then we're going to have another string called myLiters that's going to take a double value of gallons. We're going to convert that string value to a double value and pass it to gallons to liters. And then we're going to write a function that takes that double parameter, does some calculations, and returns a string of the equivalent number of liters. And we'll display that then in our liters label. So we're going to get some practice writing a function. And in essence, we are writing programs that perform computations. We're also writing Swift code using IB outlets and IB actions with our IB storyboard that will respond to the user event when the user clicks the button. I'm going to suggest you stop the video here, try this on your own, and if you get stuck, then come back and watch the rest of this video where I'll show you my solution. In Xcode, I'm going to go to the File menu and choose New Project. We're going to create an iOS app. I'm just going to click Next. I'm going to name this 03B gallons to liters. We're going to use this a storyboard for our interface. Language is Swift. I'm going to have the include test turned off and click Next and decide where I want to save this. And I'm going to create this only for the iPhone. We're going to use Portrait. I'm going to turn the iPad orientation off. We're using iOS 16.2. We designed this for the iPhone 14 Pro. And I'll come into my main storyboard, bring up the library. I'm going to start with a label. It's going to be enter number of gallons for the text. I'll put a colon. Position that where I want it, and then let's add another label up at the top. And this one will be gallons to liters. And I'm going to make this bold. And let's bring it up in size. I'm going to say about 24 is probably good. Click Done. Now I need to press the Enter key here after my text, and we'll position this like such. Next, I want a text field. And I'll change the background to a light yellow. And for the text, I'll enter 3.5. And I like to, when I use numbers, have them right aligned. And let's make the font here a little bit bigger. I'm going to say 18. That looks pretty good. Take a filled button. Stretch that out. And for the filled button, our text will be convert to liters. And I'll change the tint here to I think just a system gray. Make that a little bit bigger. I'm going to take my label for number of gallons, copy and paste. We'll put this down here and we'll change the text simply to say number of liters. Line it up here on the right with the one above it. I'm just going to paste another label. We'll put a couple question marks in there. Make this a little bit smaller. And this one we're going to change the background to more of a light blue. And again, this is going to have numeric values in it, so I'm going to align it to the right. And that is our interface. I'm just going to run this in the emulator, see how it looks. It looks pretty good. So again, I'm getting some warnings here in terms of the auto layout not having constraints. So as we saw in the previous lesson, I'm just going to select everything, come down to Resolve Auto Layout Issues button, and I'm just going to say Add Missing Constraints for the selected views. And again, it's probably a good idea just to test it, make sure that it looks good on the emulator. And we'll stop. Okay, so now I need to create my code. I'll add another editor. We'll close our panels over on the right-hand side. For this editor, I'm going to come back over to my navigator, make that the view controller. This one is our scene. Hide the navigator panel. I'm going to need an outlet for the number of gallons. I'm going to hold down the control key and let's drag that over to our code. We'll create an outlet. I'm going to call it gallons text. It's going to be UI text field. I'll just say connect. And I'm going to do the same thing for the number of liters. We'll call this one liters label. It's a UI label. I'm going to say connect. Get rid of that blank line. And then I need an action for the button. I'm just going to call it convert. It's going to be a UI button. Touch up inside and connect. So I'd given you some code in the instructions, which was let gallons as a string value equal gallons text dot text, and we need to unwrap that as an optional. Then we'll let my liters, which is also a string value, equal, and we're going to type in the name of a function we're going to write, which is gallons to liters. We're going to pass it the number of gallons, which is going to be a double value, and in that double value we're converting gallons. Shift my code out a little bit here. So I need another closing paren. And we're told it can't find gallons to liters because we simply haven't written that yet. So we get a little error there. We'll come back and fix that. The next line of our code that I provided was liters label dot text equals my liters. So that's the code for our button. Now we need to write our function. So we're going to start with func. We're going to call this gallons to liters. We're going to have a variable called gallons of type double. And it's going to return a string value. So we specify the return type with a hyphen greater than symbol, creates a little arrow. Need my brackets. Our code will be let liters equal, we're going to take the number of gallons, and we said that 1 gallon was equal to 3.7854 liters, so 3.7854 is the value we're going to multiply the gallons by. We'll let liters string equal the string value. We're going to format to 1 decimal. So that's a floating point value, and we want to format is the value of liters. And then we'll simply return liters string. So we're getting a little error up here. This needs to be unwrapped as well, because the gallons value is depending on the gallons text having a text value. All right, that all looks pretty good. Let's test and see if this works. So 3.5 gallons times the 3.7 should give us approximately 13 liters. If I did my math correct, let's see what this gives us, 13.2. Let's just try this very simply. Let's do, let's come in here and change this to 10. So then we know we should get 37.854 or 37.9. So the calculation seems to be working correctly. And that is our gallons to liters app. If you just jumped into this video, you can see all the videos from the iOS app development cohort playlist by clicking on the image in the lower right. And if you'd like to be alerted to future videos that I create, you can click my picture up in the top right and subscribe to the channel.